Okay, in this video, I'd like to talk to you about something which is crucial in the ACT, which is pacing or knowing yourself and your reading speed. The ACT is very different from the SAT in terms of its reading section. The SAT, the answers are usually a little bit more cryptic and difficult, and they take a little bit more time to figure out. So it's a slightly slower exam. The ACT compensates for that by making its exam a lot faster, right? So although the answers are a little bit more obvious and literal, there's also that added element of speed, of time. And kids who obsess over getting an answer choice correct or solving a question are always the ones that are going to suffer in the ACT, because they're going to frankly run out of time, right? So pacing is the most important thing in the ACT. If you can't pace yourself correctly, you're not going to do well in the ACT. So what you need to do is, even before the exam, you need to kind of have an estimation about how long should you be spending reading the passage? How long should you be spending solving the questions, right? Now, a lot of that is going to be determined by your reading speed. How quickly do you read at the moment? And not just the pure speed itself, but what is your level of comprehension as you're reading? Right? Because of course, the faster we read, the less we comprehend, So you kind of have to work out that ideal ratio of speed versus comprehension. If you read way too fast, then you're going to get nothing, and then you're going to have to reread stuff later on. But if you read too slowly, you're not going to have enough time to solve the questions. So it's a kind of balancing act that you're going to have to do. A lot of my teaching for ACT students is pretty much kind of calculating that ideal ratio of time spent reading versus time spent solving. Okay, so what I usually do is I get kids to just read a passage, and then let's see how long it takes them when they're reading as quickly as they can, with about 80% comprehension, 70% comprehension. And based on that, you'll be able to sort of guesstimate how much time you should be spending on each passage. Okay, the crucial thing when you're moving through the ACT is not to get bogged down on a question. Okay, don't obsess over one question. All questions count the same. You don't get any extra credit for solving a very difficult question, right? Every single question gives you the same amount of points. Okay, and also, in my experience from what I've seen, there's not a correlation between time spent on a question and the chance that this person will eventually get this question correct. There's not that straight up correlation. In fact, I would say after 30 seconds, if the student doesn't have a pretty good idea of what kind of answer he should be looking for, or hasn't been able to eliminate at least half the answer choices, the chance of him getting it right diminishes dramatically, right? So you're kind of getting a double whammy then. If you spend a lot of time on a question, but then you eventually get that question wrong, you've thrown away all the time that you spent on that. Time which could have been spent later on, on a question that probably, the student would have got correct. Okay, so as you're practicing, make sure you're always practicing under more pressure than you would in the exam, right? Don't give yourself 35 minutes when you're practicing. Give yourself 33 minutes, right? Put yourself under more pressure. Then when you get to the actual exam, you'll be like, hey, I feel a little bit easier now because I've got kind of two extra minutes that I never used to have when I would practice by myself. Okay, so pacing is crucial in ACT. Work out in general how long you should be spending reading a passage, how long you should be spending solving questions that will allow you to finish in about 33, 34 minutes approximately. That's going to go a long way in helping boost your score, because a lot of the problems in ACT actually come from pacing, incorrect pacing. Kids who have no experience practicing the ACT and suddenly run out of time, when they get to the last passage. Okay, keep that in mind, guys.